Hi everyone, it's Gretchen here with Catnpaws. So, welcome to my journal series. This is going to be a very beginner's basic journal. This is kind of where I started out at, besides like I did a no-sew, but this is actually going to be stitched and it's going to be the crisscross stitch. It's my most favorite thing. It seems to be a lot more sturdier. Step one, for me, is picking out what papers I want to use. When this journal is completed, it will measure on the outside 9 inches long by 6 inches wide, and on the inside it will measure 5.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches long. So I go ahead and start looking through my scrapbook paper, my thicker cardstock for my cover and my inside pages. I knew I wanted to use this as my inside, and this is a thinner sheet. It has 80, and you can hear they're thinner. So I kind of wanted to color coordinate, and I thought this pad goes well with this pad, and that's where I'm going to start at. So I'm kind of just thumbing through my paper, thinking what's going to look nice on the outside, what's going to look nice on the inside. I think this will be nice because we'll probably end up attaching a library card inside of the journal when we're done. And those are the library cards I have. So I think it will look nice. And these can be stained. So I'm just going to go ahead and take out 2 sheets. Actually, I could probably get away with 1 in the middle because you'll see how it's going to be cut down. So we'll leave it at 1. And then the outside cover. Flipping through this, that is vellum. We're going to actually put a sheet of that in there. But let's go ahead and get our covers done first. Tell me when to stop. I think that would be too bright. I know some people like to put a lot of embellishments on the outside of the journals. I am usually not one of those people, although I have put things on the outside of my journal. Don't want to do the music. That looks like it'd be too busy. Newspaper printing, and I keep leaning towards this because when we cut this down, that will actually be on the outside cover, and then the other piece will be on the back. Let me pull a piece of this. So for the inside, you just want to mix and match, mix and match. So I don't want a lot of scrapbook because the more scrapbook paper you have, the thicker your journal will be. If you really like that, then go for all the scrapbook paper you want. But I don't. I like my innards like a thinner type. And I see this sheet of journal cards, which I think I'm just going to pull now so we have it because we'll probably end up using it. And then I want to look for maybe, we could use that actually for the inside of the first signature. So we'll take that. And see, I just keep going back through it saying, what do I want in this? There's pinks in this, pinks and purple. So I'm going to try to avoid this bright peach, but I'm sure you could blend it right in. I think this is very pretty. Let's go ahead and throw a sheet of that in there. So, yeah, it depends on the journal I'm making, but I think I'm going to stick to 2 pieces of cardstock for 1 signature. So we need 2 more pieces. That doesn't scream too loud on the peach. It's like a peachy pink. And then let's go with a sheet of this. And let's go with a sheet of the music. So that's going to be the scrapbook pages. Again, you can mix and match. I did that Valentine journal, and I used all kinds of whatever paper I thought looked pretty together, and I thought it turned out really nice. Okay, there's our scrapbook. Now we're going to move over to our thinner paper. And you know, there's some paper I use consistently in my journals, and I'm looking for some graph paper. And we're going to stain paper. And then I also have some of the alphabet paper. I need to find that. So I'm just going to put it over there so I know where it's at. All right, inside. Again, this is a thinner. It's not quite as thin as copy paper, but it's not far away. So this is what we're going to use to fill up our journal with. I'm debating whether or not to stain this. I'm thinking about really leaving it alone and then just staining some white copy paper. Just to keep it simple, you know, for this. That way you can get the contrast of whether you like just the white or if you like the stain. I like to keep my journals to either 12 or 13 pages per signature. It turns out to be 50 pages per journal, give or take, and then you add your other little things. I like the swans. See there, I'm pulling quite a bit because I want to concentrate it more on this and less on copy paper and stained paper. So the beginner journal maker can just grab a couple pads of paper and just have fun and go with it and not feel intimidated. I think the staining brings out an intimidation factor, which doesn't need to be there. I think the stitching does too. And that doesn't need to be there either. It's so easy. You see here, I'm just kind of going through, skipping every other, you know, couple ones or whatever. Because again, I try to keep it down to so many pages. I think that is beautiful. Let's put that in. Okay, we'll put that, we have it also in the contrasting print, and I want it in that print as well. We have some pretty hearts. I think we're just about there. Ooh, that zigzag. I already have a thing of cut aparts. Well, you know what? We'll work it in there, right? We shall work it in. Okay, so I went through my paper pad. This is my thinner. And again, you're the creator. Do what you feel comfortable doing. If you like just working with the scrapbook paper, by all means, just work with that. If you want to work with a thinner designer, you know, paper like this, feel free to. If you want to work with just all white copy paper, that's fine too. Okay, so next up, let's get the staining station set up, and we'll get some paper stain to put in our journal, and we'll get it going. So we picked out our papers, and now I'm going to actually stain them. I do a food color stain. You can use like your McCormick with the little dropper bottles, but I picked this up at Walmart. And it has all the colors in there, and you can make several hundred color combinations. There it says create thousands of colors and repeat color accurately. So anyways, I don't coffee or tea dye. I go with this, but there's a lot of videos out there, a lot of tutorials, and whatever you feel comfortable doing, that's what you should do. But if you do go with the coffee, and I keep one on hand so I can spritz my paper, put a little witch hazel or alcohol or some kind of mold retardant in there. That way your coffee doesn't mold and you don't have to waste it. Back to my water. So I have my pan, and I have it actually on a cookie sheet. That way I can transport it, and that way if the bottom falls through, it'll be on the cookie sheet. And these are just the disposable I buy at the store. Since we have pink and purple paper, let's go ahead and try for a purple color combination. My water's just lukewarm because I think it takes the stain better that way, and then it will cool down, and you can use cool paper to actually dip your paper in. But I like to get the color in lukewarm paper. And I have a glove on because I'm going to get my finger stained. I see this really pastel purple here, and I think I may try that one. Is 2 pinks and 1 blue. So I just go in my box here and look for the pink and the blue. It's just labeled with the color drops. And it's way down at the bottom. That's red. Here we got our pink and we got our blue. So 2 to 1. It's going to be 2 pinks, 1 blue. Let's go ahead and do that. 2 pinks. Well, there's a little cap on there. You can see I haven't done pink yet. I've worked a lot with the browns. Okay. 2 pinks. 1 blue. Let's stir it up. See what we get. Oh, that is so pretty on the purple. But I think I'm probably going to have to add double doses here. So we got 1 blue, 2 pinks. I'm just trying to get that color rich enough to dip paper into it. And I think I'll do it one more time. And 1 blue. That's going to make some pretty paper. You could really do probably a mermaid effect if you want with the water staining. Just trying to mix it up. I also use the shish kebab sticks. That's really good for mixing it up too if you don't have gloves. We got purple water. Okay, let me move you and we'll start staining some paper. So I've transferred my pan of water into my dining room because this is where I set up. Like I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of tutorials out there for how to dry paper. I prefer just drying it on my paper I save from time to time. I don't iron and I don't oven dry. My house is pretty well humidity controlled, so I get a good drying overnight. And, you know, non-toxic water, and, you know, my paper is non-toxic. This is also a great time to break out your shimmer mist. They give that extra little oomph if you're looking for it, and this time around I am. I have my coloring paper, and what I do is dip. And if I was gonna be doing like a brown, I would actually have this filled up and just work with it throughout the day. But we're doing a special journal. So we're kind of going for more purple, pinks. And that's all I do. I dip it in water. I'm gonna try the graph paper. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna try a piece anyways. Now the graph paper is a little bit more delicate. And it tends to want to rip a little bit more. I have my paper towel. I should have gloved both hands, but it will get on your fingernails and stain, and your fingers and stain. But let's go ahead and shake on a little bit of pearl on this graph paper to see how it turns out when it dries. Now this won't be ready for a while, a day, 12 hours, somewhere about there. Depends on humidity right now. It's pretty dry in here at the moment. Just grabbing more paper. and laying it out. It's much more efficient when you're not videotaping. It goes a lot quicker. I can move my paper around. What I'll do is rotate as I sit here and straighten up my paper. Let's do one more. And you know what? This is also the perfect time to stain your parchment, your, help me out here, maybe not your wax paper, won't stick, your parchment and your tracing paper, and whatever other papers you want to try to stain. You can see that I'm just dipping it in the water, making sure it gets coated, and then I just, it's pretty durable even wet, but I don't shake too hard, and I try to be delicate holding the top. And I just put it down, and let's go ahead and put a little spray coat of purple pansy on this. It's my shimmer mist. And it will be so pretty. Let me lower you down so you can see. If I can get it out, that is. Oh, goodness. That's not supposed to happen. So I'm just gonna splooge some on there. We'll see how that looks when it dries. All right, that is staining. I'm going to continue to stain my papers and all that good stuff. I'll check back in. Tomorrow we'll get everything assembled for the signatures and get moving on that. All right, have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.